Today, we are unveiling the most amazing profile of a student who got into Harvard. No legacy, no athlete, but still the most powerful profile. Why I'm using powerful word? Because of she is connected with politics, she scored 1550 in her SAT. No, the reason is journey and choices. She didn't participated in MUNs, debates and community work. She did what she really wants to do. And the end result is extremely unique profile. So let's dive into the journey and story of Rhea Manian. Hello Rhea, welcome and congratulations for Harvard class of 2028. So Rhea, please can you introduce who are you?
Hi, I'm Rhea. I'm a current senior in Orlando, Florida, in the US. Um, I'm not legacy and I'm not an athlete, but I was privileged enough and honored to be admitted to the Harvard class of 2028 under the restrictive early action plan. I will be concentrating in government and Spanish. They're my majors. I really love to read in my free time, and yeah, I'm really excited.
Okay, so again, congratulations for Harvard. What was the feeling when you received your acceptance right letter?
I was really nervous that entire day, and Harvard never sent out an email about when decisions were coming out, so everyone was just kind of like refreshing their computers constantly. I was with my parents and my brother right here in this room, and when I hit like status update and the decision came out, we all like screamed and like I started like crying because I was just so happy. But yeah, we were we were really excited.
Amazing, amazing. So let's start from the beginning. First of all, how many universities you applied for?
My list was 21 schools, and I did apply to like 15 of them by the time I got my Harvard decision. And then after I got my Harvard decision, I applied to two more, bringing it up to 17. But I didn't apply to like some of my safeties and target schools that I would not go to over Harvard. So that ended up cutting down my list a little bit. But I did write all 21 schools' essays.
What about essays? Like what kind of things you thought that okay, that's the point or that's the essay that got me into Harvard?
I don't think I could point to any specific essay because I think they all really worked well together because they were all about something different about me. I feel like my activity list and my resume was really like politics, 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 government, government, government. So in the essays, I tried to show like a different side of myself that kind of stepped away from politics because just saying that I kept doing politics over and over was kind of like redundant and unnecessary. Um, I think I was really happy with some of like the creative flexibility. Like one of the Harvard essays is top three things your roommate would like to know about you. And I kind of took that prompt and kind of really had fun with it. And for my Common App essay, like my personal statement, when they said personal, I got personal. Like I like there was stuff in there that I would never even let my parents read. But I really do think that it showed a different side of me other than like this kid who like did a bunch of politics things throughout high school and like that's all she did because that's simply not true. So I guess I think that by showing a different side of me in the essays that wasn't necessarily already included within my application really did help.
So any future plans for politics?
I did a lot of work in Florida and I'm really sad to be leaving it. Um, I know so many people here and I've been so honored to like take on a lot of work in Florida, but I'm looking forward to continuing my work in Cambridge. I'll be continuing my work with an organization called Voters of Tomorrow. I'll be working for the Biden campaign soon. So there's still a lot of opportunities that I'll be working with, and I'm not just going to quit politics when I go to college. Organizing is something that's a part of me, and I would never like just quit it after I get in. So yeah, I look forward to organizing on campus at Harvard in like fall of 2024. But I'll still be in Florida over the summer to continue my work here and make sure that everything's set before November, which is election day.
Amazing, amazing. It's a great plan. And Florida, I think it's a great place. I my co-founder, he is in Tampa, Florida. So it's a great place. And what about like your overall background, overall profile? Like your parents, your friends, your siblings, they are also applying to universities.
I have one younger brother. He's only in 10th grade, so he hasn't started applying anywhere yet. Both my parents went to the local state university here, University of South Florida, which is in Tampa. Um, no one from my family has ever gone out of state for college or like to Harvard or anything. My school is private, so it is pretty competitive. A lot of kids are legacy to really great schools, or they've like kind of been like taught like you should try and go to like the best school possible. My school is really academically rigorous as well. I'm not legacy and I'm not a committed athlete either. I just kind of got in like as like a regular applicant. But most of my friends are applying to like top tier schools. Like my best friend just got into Duke. Some of my friends applied to like Brown and Dartmouth and that kind of stuff. I personally like I never thought that I would end up at Harvard. I really wanted to stay in Florida to continue my work at University of Florida. Um, and I also got an offer from Florida State University with a scholarship. I really wanted to stay in Florida and continue my work because I just didn't want to quit it all and leave it here. Like this is something that I definitely want to continue. But I ended up getting an offer like out of state that was like really good. So I was like, oh, okay, maybe this isn't something that I want to do forever. And I still will need a really good college education for like my future plans and jobs and graduate school and that kind of stuff. So in the end, I did decide to go out of state, but like University of Florida here is like such a great option because for Florida students, like you can basically go for free. There's like a bunch of scholarships if you have like a minimum SAT score and stuff. So yeah.
So let's discuss about extracurriculars. Okay, because like most of the students just worry about their extracurriculars. They thought that it's the only way I can get into top universities, but it's not true because college application is a mixture of many things like your academics, your essays, and many much things. So please, can you say something about Florida Democratic Party?
I'm the chair of the Florida High School Democrats, which is an organization that is chartered by the Florida Democratic Party, which is like an official institution of Florida, to engage high schoolers within the civic process, get them registered to vote, and stuff like that. So I'm the chair of that caucus, which allows me a seat on the Florida Democratic Party as a ranking committee member, which is super like unusual for a high schooler to have that much power within like a party structure, but it's definitely like a privilege. That was something
Amazing.
that I did, and it was like my life for a really long time. Um, Chair of the Florida Democratic Party, her name is Nikki Fried. She appointed me to her youth council, which is like a group of 45 young leaders from across Florida, and we all get together and work together and figure out how we're going to like win in 2024. And I'm the vice chair of that council as well. So the Florida High School Democrats is a really great organization, but it was also really dead when I took it over. Like the year before me, there was only like 3 clubs in the entire state. There was like no leadership. People were just kind of doing whatever. But when I came in and took it over with my friends, we really did turn it around and we really did show adults like this is a legitimate organization that is chartered by the party for a reason. Um, for so long, Florida's youth has been completely ignored in the political process. So, Florida High School Democrats is working to bridge that gap. And that came with a lot of opportunities for like for speaking, for advocacy work. Um, we held a lot of events, and it was a lot of work, but it was super rewarding
Yeah,
in the end.
exactly. So, any suggestions for other students who have same kind of interest and major, and they are not from USA or like Florida? So, how they can proceed or like engage in these kind of activities? Because like it's little bit difficult as a high school student.
Yeah, for sure. And we're always working to make sure that like stays easier because it is pretty difficult for high school students to get involved. I would just say that, like, there is no shame in cold emailing anyone. Like, to get an internship with a representative, I emailed like 50 different representatives because I was willing to go anywhere and do anything for an internship. And that's really what kind of started my political career. So I guess I would just say, like, put yourself out there, like, throw your name in that basket because you really do never know what's going to happen. Um,
Yeah,
I will also say that like a lot of my friends do debate and debate is a really great like way to like improve your public speaking skills and stuff. I don't really personally know anyone who works within the party like me. I think it's super niche and like I really don't, it's really unique, and I really don't think anyone else could replicate what I did because it's so incredibly like unique. And I definitely think that there is doing debate is really great, but debate is really competitive because there are so many kids in debate. I think that and people were like, oh, I need to join debate because everyone who joins debate and does really well goes to like really good schools. And while that may be true, I think that sometimes discourages people from like trying to find their own path because they're so worried about what everyone else is joining and what everyone else is doing. I did debate for a while. I realized that I was not super great at fake government, so I decided to
Yeah,
go into real government. And I think that made all the difference in my application because I feel like if I just try to stick with debate and like put so much time and energy and effort into that, I would have kind of A, made myself unhappier, and B, not really found my true passion, which is I don't really love to play fake government. I love to play real government. So I would definitely encourage people to like kind of expand your horizons and don't like limit yourself to what you see your friends doing. Um, there is no shame. It's a little scary to go off the beaten path, but there definitely is no shame in not doing something that everyone else is doing. And like, don't be scared that just because other people are doing it, like you're not going to get in somewhere. 9 times out of 10, forging your own path and doing your own thing is probably a better choice than following the herd.
yeah, totally makes sense, and I agree with that, because like most of the students are just trying to build their extracurriculars. They are joining MUNs, and some students, yeah, they enjoyed MUNs and those kind of activities. But some students are just participating because of extracurricular for the sake of college application. So I agree with that. And yeah, like don't hesitate to outreach, because many students just thought, okay, if I outreach 30 people, 30 professors, so maybe they will reply. But I suggest apply or outreach as much as possible. And what about SAT preparation and your SAT score?
So I took the SAT twice in my junior year. I took the August SAT in junior year and I got a 1420. And I was really nervous after that because I was like, oh no, like it was high, but not where I really wanted it to be. And I had studied like a lot over that summer using free resources like Khan Academy and YouTube to the point where I think I actually almost over prepared because I took like every single test, like every single day, like 3 tests a week. And it was just like, it was a
Oh
lot of
my
effort. And then I got that 1420 and I was like, oh no, like I'm
God.
so screwed. Um, I actually like over prepared myself to the point I stressed myself out and like just like was so out of it during that test. But like in between like September and then I took the December test, I like cut back on the amount of tests I
Yeah.
did, chilled out a little bit more, relaxed a little bit more, like still studied and reviewed, but not to the level I was doing over that summer. And I took it again in December and got a 1550. So I really like the power of positive thinking, like I never believed in that before I took my SAT. And then like the difference between August and December, even though I studied less for the December test, was crazy. So like don't like I would say like don't try to stress yourself out too much about that because the SAT is becoming less and less important as it becomes more and more correlated with the level of wealth a student has. But like I definitely wouldn't recommend like over preparing yourself and then like freaking out the day of the test and then doing really poorly. So yeah, that was my SAT journey.
So Ria, what about AP exams?
By the time I graduate my senior year, I'll be to have taken 15 AP exams, which is like
Oh
an
my God.
unnecessarily high amount.
Yeah.
In ninth, yeah, in ninth grade, I took none. My school doesn't let us. In 10th grade, I took three. In junior year, I took five, and now I'm taking seven, which is like a lot. I took AP World History, AP US Government, AP Comparative Government,
Oh my
AP
God.
Spanish Language, AP US History, AP Biology, AP Macroeconomics, AP Microeconomics, AP English Literature, AP European History, AP Calculus AB, AP Environmental Science, AP,
Oh my
yeah,
God,
I don't
it's
even
a,
remember
yeah,
the
yeah,
rest.
yeah.
But I got fives on every exam that I took except
Oh,
for AP Biology and AP Calculus AB, where I got fours.
oh my God, amazing, amazing. So, any tips for AP exam? Like, how did you prepare for AP exams, or any secret? Yeah.
Honestly, like the lack
Yeah.
of sleep near AP exams was crazy.
Oh
Like
yeah.
I was so out of it my junior year, and I was so burnt out too. I guess
Yeah.
there are like a lot of free resources, like Khan Academy kind of saved my life. My teachers did a
Yeah.
really great job of preparing me over the school year, but I do think a lot for like the humanities APs, like AP English, AP Government, AP Histories, they are very heavily rooted in writing skills. And I think that a lot of people practice like multiple choice, but they don't remember that like the FRQ is almost just as weighted equally and is super important, and usually harder than multiple choice. Like even if you know the content, you can't like there is something about writing skills that is very important about on humanities AP exams that I feel like a lot of people ignore. So I guess like trying to like make your writing skills a little bit better, whether that looks like just writing a practice DBQ or FRQ and then bringing it to your teacher and being like, "Is this okay?" I would practice handwriting my FRQs and DBQs, and then I would print out the rubric from College Board and like go over it one by one to make sure I would get all the points. Some of the rubrics can be really vague and ambiguous, but I usually did a pretty good job with like guessing where I stood. So like I would definitely say like there is a benefit in like not only focusing on multiple choice but also like focusing on the FRQs and like know your limits. Like I took AP Calculus AV. I'm not a math person. I've never been a math person. I hate it. That class was so unnecessarily hard, and I
Yeah.
struggled so much just to get like a A minus in the class, and that took
Oh,
away time I could have been studying for things that I was way better at, like AP government. So this year I was like, I'm not going to Calc BC. Like you would have to pay me $1 million to do that. So I took AP statistics instead to focus on things
yeah.
that I actually do like, and that made all the difference. So I think that you should take AP classes in subjects that you're strong in, not really subjects that you like don't really love, because the amount of
Yeah.
studying you're going to take just to get like a 3, it's not worth it.
Yeah, totally makes sense. Totally makes sense. And only like few students are taking like these kind of like AP exams. And but yeah, like on internet, on the official website of MIT, it's showing that like try to take harder AP exams, or try to choose hard exams or hard AP exams like Cal AB, Cal BC. So what about this? Like, is it true, or like just focus on your like own interest?
I think that it's true to an extent. Like I would definitely say that I had rigor in my classes. Um,
Yeah.
I would say that my senior year, even though I'm taking 7 APs, they're like easier. Like I'm taking AP Environmental Science, AP Stat. Like these are quote unquote easier classes. But what I did do is like I never took physics, I never took AP Chemistry, and I'm not like a chemistry major, I'm not a physics major, so it didn't
uh,
really matter. I
exactly.
think that like I think that there's something in like taking a lot of APs. They don't necessarily have to be super hard exams. Like a super hard exam for you could be AP US history, but a super hard exam for me could be AP physics. So I think it's like debatable. I don't really know that like just because I took quote unquote like easier APs that my rigor was lessened, because even though I did take like easier APs, I took all of the humanities courses offered at my school. Like I maxed out on that. There were no more classes for me to take. So I had to enroll in a college course. I think that shows more worth than me taking AP physics and then like failing the exam because I don't know what I'm doing.
Totally makes sense. And like taking rigorous or like challenging AP exams, challenging courses, that's not mean that like just take difficult one, because it means like choose AP exams according to your major, future major or interest, not just like okay, just search on the internet, okay, which is the difficult or hardest AP exam. So it's not like that, because many students are like just confused. They thought that okay, on MIT website it is showing that take difficult AP exams. So it's not at exactly what they are trying to say. And according to you, which one is the best extracurricular? You thought that okay, I got into Harvard because of that extracurricular.
I think I got into Harvard because I have like work experience in real life situations with the Florida Democratic Party. I definitely can't attribute any one extracurricular to like, I was like, oh yeah, like this definitely got me in. But I think that what I did with the FDP was like super unique. And I would say that like, no, like I never started a nonprofit, I never did research, I didn't win some like I don't know, like Olympiad. Like I was never a national champion in anything, but like what I did do here and I did it like I did it well. Like I don't really think any other 17-year-olds could have had the experience that I had within Florida politics at this point. It got to the point where I was receiving like multiple offers to work paid positions on campaigns and I don't without a college degree because I like A never said no and B like I was I really dedicated myself to my job and to my work and I think that even if I didn't get into Harvard, I still had a lot of opportunities here waiting for me. And at that point, I really think that like work experience and real life experience really helped. I don't know how many other 17-year-olds could like say that they had the opportunity to work for a state party in the capacity that I did at this point. And like I never like really started anything by myself. I kind of took over things that were already dying and made them like a lot better than they used to be and people were like, "Oh my god, like this is amazing because these organizations have been dead for so long, but they don't need to be because there's a space here for them and there's a purpose for them." Um, so I think that it was definitely like my like the uniqueness of my extracurriculars and like the point at which I pursued them. Like there's not like a national or like competition
Yeah.
that I won or anything like that. I was just like I did my job really well and there were results to show for it.
And I think your profile is the, you can say that, inspiration for all students, because whenever we are talking about best profiles, so there are students who got into, who have gold medal in physics and silver medal in chemistry, or olympiads and like national international achievements. So like you are the proof. Just focus on your passion, interest, and what you really want to do. Not just make a list of top universities and past year admits. Okay, that student got into Harvard or MIT, he participated in physics olympiad. Okay, so I will definitely participate in physics olympiad. He like participated in more than 10 MUNs. Okay, so I will participate in more than 20 MUNs. So it's not like that. And you are the proof of this theory. Like just focus on your or follow your passion. So Ria, any advice for all students?
I mean, I guess I would definitely say like never say no to an opportunity and always show up. Especially in politics, like that does go a long way. People are constantly looking for people to volunteer and phone bank and canvas and stuff like that. And like I think that a thing that really helped me get more opportunities was like just never saying no and being like, yeah, like we can do this, like just keep going. And like I think really showing like growth and like progress is really important. I really wouldn't worry too much about like, oh my god, like what extracurriculars can I do? Like what awards can I get? Because if you truly like follow something that you're really passionate about and you put work into it and you have like opportunities will like come your way. Like it's kind of like Florida High School Democrats was dead. I revived it. We showed that we were active, and the Florida Democratic Party came knocking. They're like, "Hey, like you want to do this with us? Hey,
Yeah.
you want to do that?" Like that never happened before. I think that there is so much like power in youth voices, and I think that's something that a lot of people are looking for. I think that something Harvard in particular is looking for are like kids who like understand the real world and like worked like adults when they were in high school. Not necessarily like creating their own nonprofit that like didn't really do anything, but they have a nonprofit. Like I think there is such value in real life experience and real work experience. Um, like that's I guess that's
Yeah.
like what I would say.
Yeah. And real life experience is unbeatable. And Ria, who is your favorite politician? Who is your favorite? Anyone?
Um, I would say my favorite right now is Elizabeth Warren. She's a US Senator from Massachusetts. But I was this close to writing my Common App personal statement about Hillary Clinton, but then my
Oh,
like my school counselor was like, everyone writes their essays about Hillary Clinton. I was like, oh,
yeah.
okay, never mind.
It's common, yeah. And you applied for 21 universities. So I think MIT is also the part of your college list, I think, right? 20 universities in Common App or and MIT, right?
I did 20 universities in my Common App in Georgetown. I didn't apply
Oh,
to MIT.
okay. Why you didn't apply for MIT? Any reason? Yeah, it's, yeah, obvious, but any reason?
Um, I think that I didn't apply to MIT because it's not really known for like the major that I want to pursue, and it didn't necessarily
Exactly.
have like the programs that I wanted to have. Like for me, fit was really important, so I didn't apply to like MIT or Caltech or any of the UC schools because they didn't necessarily like have a super strong political science program, which is something that I really looked for in a school.
Yeah, and what about Yale? You applied for Yale University.
Yes, I did. Um, I won't know that decision until March, but I applied to Yale. I did a summer program at Yale, Yale Young Global Scholars. This past year, I was in Solving Global Challenges. I applied to all Ivies except for Columbia because I hate New York. So, and then
Yeah.
like
Okay.
in
So a
Florida,
reason
I
like,
applied to like,
yeah, what's the reason for your hate? Like any reason?
oh no, just like location was kind of important to me, and I'm not like a super like big city kind of person. Like Boston is a little smaller than New York, and I just like New York is so crowded and it's so expensive. So I was like, oh, I don't think I need to apply to Columbia. It's okay. I really did
Yeah,
think that I was going to go to University of Florida. I think that
yeah.
was like one of my top choices, even though it's not like an Ivy, it's like a lower ranked school, but it's a pretty good public school. Um, so yeah.
And I think you will definitely got into Yale University because your profile is perfect according to Yale University. Because like you already participate in Viva.GS. So Viva.GS 2023, right? Or
Yeah.
20? Yeah, yeah, amazing. And so it's amazing. And now I think you don't need to wait for any acceptance or decision because Harvard is amazing. Harvard is the best university. And best of luck and congratulations for your future journey. Any problem you face like during the whole process, whole journey, you find that okay, that's the like difficult part or like challenging part I faced in my college application.
I think the hardest part for me was really learning to open up in my essays and make them truly personal. I think essays are a pretty important part of the college process, and it can get overwhelming when you're writing like 21 plus essays for 21 different schools, and a lot of them are pretty similar. Like I've seen like the life experiences essays a lot. So I think that over the summer before the prompts released, I wrote like a bunch of different essays about random stuff. Like I know that wherever I'm gonna apply, like they're gonna ask me why would I choose this major? What's a life experience that helped me? So I like wrote all of those beforehand. So then like come August, I was like prepared enough to keep like just like submit applications. I think that making essays personal can be really hard to do. And like I would just have random, really interesting thoughts. Like I don't know. Like I think the culture around college admissions has changed youth organizing here in Florida, and I like submitted that to Harvard. I was like, I think the culture around college admissions is ruining actual change. And they took it. So, there really is no topic that is off limits. Um, really like try and get personal in your essays. It's like kind of be hard to do. I didn't let
Yeah,
anyone else read my essays because they were at that point so personal.
yeah, exactly. Or sometimes like we feel that it's like little bit risky. Some student thought that. So yeah. And what about like it's the biggest question, what about financial aid, scholarship?
Yeah, so the FAFSA here opens up on December 31st. So, we'll fill that out and we'll wait for my package from Harvard. I did apply to external scholarships, like that's outside of Harvard, because they only have need-based financial aid. So I applied for like some really niche scholarships, like this American Association of Spanish Teachers has like a scholarship for students who plan to continue Spanish in college, and I would say that's a pretty small group of kids. So I applied for scholarships from there both last year and this year. Um, I also applied to a bunch of scholarships and got rejected. So it's I know that like paying for college can seem daunting, but I mean I'm just waiting at this point for a financial aid package.
Yeah. So any views and anything you want to share about CTS?
Yeah, I mean, any resources are great resources. I would definitely recommend that you take advantage of resources that are presented to you. I know that I really relied on like internet sources to help me figure out my college process because my parents never had to go through this at this level. And I was kind of like going into it on my own, and that can seem really overwhelming and scary, but I would definitely recommend that you take advantage of any resources that are given to you. And if Cross the Sky like provides them for you, I would definitely not hesitate to say no or say yes.
Amazing, amazing. So, like every day, I'm receiving one simple common question. Sir, any consultancy or paid counselor you have like any suggestions? Because like many students thought that they need a good counselor or costly counselor to get into top universities. So as we know that it's not truth, but according to you, is it good idea to like hire a costly counselors, hire consultancies for your college application?
I mean, I think it's personal choice, but it's definitely possible to get into a good university without one. Like, I think that sometimes like it can be really obvious that you hired like a private college counselor because all of the sudden like the at the end of like junior year you like come out with all this stuff like a new nonprofit and like you're writing a book, which are all really great and worthwhile things to do, but I think sometimes it can look pretty manufactured. I think something about my extracurriculars were like super genuine and super like realistic. Like I had things to show for them. They didn't like really come out of nowhere. Like there was a progression, and I think it was something that like was pretty unique that happened to me. And I don't think if even if I had hired a counselor, like I don't think they would be able to recreate that. So
Yeah,
find
yeah.
your own path.
Yeah, find your own path. And like whenever I saw two students, one is like who have a counselor, or second one who don't have a counselor. So I saw like if you don't have a counselor, so you have to do everything by your own. So you will get more experience or more knowledge about college application, because you are struggling, you are stuck in college application, how to write essay, how to write LORs, how to build good extracurriculars. So you struggle a little bit more. So it will give you more information or more knowledge, according to me. So I think yeah, both things are good. If you are able to afford that counselor, then yeah, you can go with. But I think it's also possible to get into top universities without a counselor. So thank you, Ria, and thank you for joining.
Let's cross the sky limits.
Okay. So thank you, Ria. Bye bye.